All right, class. First off, as always, good day. Glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about still going to be on the demand. Before we went on break, we talked a little bit about demand. Now we're going to get into a little demand, a little bit more, especially elastic and inelastic demand, and we're going to go through that. Okay, so the objective today, we're going to analyze how a change in income and substitutes plays a role in what we buy. Okay, examine the difference between elastic and inelastic demands. We're going to be talking again about those two, and create an argument on whether the amount of money we have determines how and where we spend it. You know, does the amount of money we have in our pocket or our bank account change us, where we shop at, and things like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the warm-up picture. So your first question, it asks you basically to analyze the pictures, and what's going on. You know, straightforward. What's going on here? The second question asks you if there was a fourth picture to make a prediction, what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think the guy's gonna let the balloon go? Do you think that he's gonna be even skinnier? Do you think it's gonna go back in him? And what do you think is gonna happen? All right, you're just making a prediction. There again is no right or wrong answer. Well, there is kind of a wrong answer. If you put like the next picture is gonna have Donald Duck in it. No, no, I don't know how you get that, but um, just tell me what you think. Okay, so go ahead, continue to write, but we're moving on in 3, 2, 1. All right, so change in quantity demand. This is basically a movement on the demand curve that shows a change in the quantity of the product purchased in response to a change in price. And when the price changes, whether it goes down or up, the demand is going to move one way or the other. All right. Now, there's several reasons why a demand would change. One of the biggest things is income, or how much money you got. So a change in quantity demanded because of a change in price alters the consumer's real income. So a great example would be like if someone lost their job. Companies go under. It happens all the time. And unfortunately, the people who are working for that company, they're out of a job. So if you've been living, buying brand name stuff, and all of a sudden you lose your job and you can't get a job for say 2-3 months because your income is now what it used to be to little to nothing. You're not going to be able to buy that rent, maybe get some clothes, but it's going to be the cheaper stuff. It's not going to be like the high-end stuff. Okay. The other thing is the substitute effect. Okay. Now, like I told you guys about the brand name, this is also a time when you look at stuff and you're like, well, this is basically the same thing. This Dr. Pepper, brand name tastes good, but Mr. Pibb, it's like $1 cheaper, 50 cents cheaper, whatever. You might go with that. Even though they taste pretty much the same. Actually, some people think Mr. Pibb tastes better than Dr. Pepper. So, that's what I mean. If the price is smaller than the brand name stuff, So when you have more money, typically you buy the brand name, the big name stuff. But when you have low income, you tend to buy the lower brand stuff. So that's what we mean. That when you have less income, you're not going to spend as much. So here's your first question. Now I know there's 2 questions on there, but that's why I put on top. Pick just one. Okay. So has there ever been a time where the amount of money you had changed what you originally wanted to buy? So let's say you saved up money and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go buy some. I saw some Jordans, at the Foot Locker or whatever, for $100. I have $100 now. I'm gonna go buy it. You go over there, and all of a sudden you realize that when you saw it was for 100, it was actually on sale. Original price, when you went over there, it's like 150 bucks, you know. So something like that, you go, I still need shoes, so I'm not gonna get the newer J's. I'm probably gonna get some of the older ones. The price is gonna be lower, but and the shoes gonna be older, but hey, they're still J's, and they're gonna be cheaper. So have you ever been in a situation where you've done that? If not, then tell me, what do you go to the second question? What do you think is the best substitute and why for an item? See, like me growing up, I you know, wasn't born rich and things like that. And sometimes, yeah, you know what? You go with the cheaper brand stuff. You don't necessarily go with the high end stuff, because hey, I liked Jordans, things like that, but did I get them? No, you know. I think I maybe my first pair was like when I was already like a sophomore in high school. But I wanted them when I was younger and things like that. Heck yeah, everyone had Jordans and things like that. You know, I was watching him play basketball and I wanted those shoes, but I didn't because my mom knew this boy's going to tear up his shoes. So yeah. So to you, what do you think is the best substitute? So think of a brand name item and think of its substitute, something that's basically the same thing but it's cheaper. Whether it's clothing, whether it's food, whether it's you know other things, games, whatever. You know, is there a different substitute, a better one, and why? Did you think that one's better? Okay, so continue to write, but we're moving on in three, two, one. So change in demand. This is basically when people are willing to pay different amounts of a product at the same price. Sometimes the price is still the same, but the people want more of it, so the line shifts. Okay, so a great example is my little pop figures. I've been collecting these for several years, and when I started buying them, you know, it was here, there, a couple stores, things like that. Um, but somehow, some way, it's become very popular. Now people are buying them everywhere. Then people are just buying and buying. The price is basically still the same. It's just now it's more popular. So it would increase. That line would increase. Basically, where the price is, the up and down line, it's still the same, right? At $1 or let's say $5, whatever, it's right across, right? It's just now the demand is more. People want it more, you know. For whatever reason, it's a fad. That people think finally realize it's, oh my God, they're all so awesome. But what can make that line change? One is consumer taste. Now, here's the thing: people don't always have the same taste. Think about when you were 6 years old till now. Do you still like the same things you did back then? The type of clothing, the type of music, type of movies, stuff like that. Do you still like the same things? Maybe one or two things, but not completely, right? Uh, Excuse me, because the thing is, fads, trends, they come and go, and a lot of times, younger people are susceptible to them. I'm not saying adults aren't, because I've seen some adults who try to go with the what's new, what's in, things like that, what's popular. I've seen that, but the thing is, the fact of the matter is, um, you know, things come and go. Again, clothes, music, dances, you know, things like that, haircuts. The other thing is substitutes. Again, now this is more of a conscious decision. Because like a great example of this would be like my grandma, when I was a kid, she would use manteca, which is lard, for her cooking, for everything. And I'd hear that, she'd be like, "Walita, what are you making?" She's like, "A salad," you know. And it's now, as when I was growing older, they're like, "Hey, you know what? Stuff like that is bad for your health. It clogs up your arteries. The cholesterol levels are ridiculously high." So then she went to canola oil. Okay, that's a more healthier oil. And now they're saying, hey, extra virgin olive oil is actually healthier than canola. Um, so that is making a conscious decision for your health. You're still buying oil, in one form or another. But now you're going from extremely unhealthy to, hey, it's pretty healthy, to, hey, this is the healthiest thing. You're making that change for a particular reason. You know, not because, this is end this week. No, it's because, hey, this is more healthier for you, so I'm gonna go with this. Same thing with soda. People went from soda to carbonated water. You know, so that change will make the demand for extra virgin olive oil and carbonated water jump, and then it'll make manteca, the lard, and stuff like soda go down. Okay. So now we come to one of my favorite questions I like to ask students, whether I'm teaching this class or not. What is a fad or a trend that you have recently done but no longer participate in? So within the past 10 years, what's something that was very popular at the time and you partake in it and now you're like, oh my God, why did I do that? That was dumb. Why did people do that stuff? That was idiotic, but you did it as well. So what's one of those things? All right, so think about clothing, haircuts, music, food, dance moves, apps, games, whatever. Something that was really trending back in the day within the past 10 years that you did, but you don't do it anymore because it's over now. It's like it's gone. Like I've been giving the example in class. I know there's a video of every single one of you guys when you were younger doing the Gungam dance. If someone has it on their phone, your abuelita, your tia, tío, brother, a best friend at the time, someone has a video of you doing the Gungam style dance. So, you know, uh, so stuff like that. Think of things like that. Nobody does a Gungam dance anymore. Even at weddings, people are like, "Oh no, heck no, that's." Mm-mm. All right, so continue to write, continue to think. Think of something that a fad, a trend that happened. Okay, but we're moving on in three. All right, so now we come to elasticity. Elasticity, the definition in economics, it's basically a measure of responsiveness and tells how a dependent variable such as quantity respond to a change in independent variable such as price. Now, what does that mean exactly? I'm sure you guys are like, what in the world? Basically, when the price changes on something, it causes an effect. Usually, when it goes down, it has a good effect. When it goes up, it has a negative effect. So, great example is, let's say you go to Walmart, right? You're like, hey, I'm going to get a case of soda for, I don't know, $5. And you go in there and you see that, hey, a case of soda, it's it's like $2, 24 pack, 20 pack, whatever, like $2. You're gonna be like, well, shoot, I might as well get like two. Heck, I might as well get three because that's gonna last a long time. And the Super Bowl's coming up, and we have birthdays coming up, so and it lasts for a while. So I might as well just buy a bunch of them. You know, that's elasticity. You're gonna buy more than you intended because the price is lower. Same thing in reverse. That if the price is too high, a case of soda, 24 pack or 20 pack is $10. You're gonna be like, no. I'll just wait till it goes back down. No, it was before this price. It'll come back. I can wait. I'm not gonna die without soda. You know. So elasticity, think of it like this, right? The space in between my hands, that's how much you were gonna buy. Okay. Now the price is low. How many are you gonna buy? You're gonna buy more. You're gonna buy this much. All right. The price is too high. I'm buying nothing. So the amount varies. It stretches. You're going to buy what you wanted. If the price is lower, you're going to buy more. If the price is too high, you're going to buy none. Okay? That's elasticity. How much you're going to buy? A lot, what you were going to buy originally, or none because the price is too high. So again, think of the stretch. How much you're going to buy. Okay? Now, inelasticity is basically a given change in a price. It causes a relatively small change in quantity demanded. In other words, because the price goes up or down, doesn't mean you're going to buy a ton of it, like you do, like I said with the last example with the sodas, or you're not going to buy any of it because you basically need it, but just a certain amount. So it doesn't matter if the price goes really high, really low. You're still going to buy maybe one or two. A good example: salt, table salt. If the price drops down, right now it's like $1 for one of those little can things of it. If the price goes down to 10 cents, you're not going to buy $10 worth, $5 worth of that stuff. Because why? You're not going to use more salt than you usually do. You know, it's like you're not going to be like, hey, I got a bunch of salt. Let's start salting everything. You know, and if you do, like I had a student say, oh, you can always give it to other people. True. But the thing is, if you have a bunch of it, there's only so much people are like, well, I already have some. It's something that not everyone is in demand for. And same thing with the price goes too high. You're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to buy it at all. Well, you do need it. Same thing with like this example here with milk. You're not going to buy 15 gallons of it because why? It goes bad in like 2 weeks. And I've never seen any family drink more than like 10 gallons of milk in a week. I should say 2 weeks. Yeah, no, that's a lot of milk. And that's the thing that if it goes past 2 weeks, now it's expired, it doesn't taste good, you just wasted money. And if the price is too high, well, yeah, you're gonna still get the milk because you guys use it. So inelasticity is like you can't crush it. You're not gonna crush it less than it is, but you're not gonna use more than what you usually use. So think of inelasticity like it's solid. Bam, it's right there for you. Okay. So here's my question to you. What is something you will buy no matter what the price is? You're not going to buy a bunch of it. You're just going to like, oh, hey, I do need it. I do want it. So I'm going to get it. Regardless of what the price is. Is there anything you can think of? Okay. Think of that. And think not just buying something, even think of like stuff like bills, phone bill, rent, things like that. What is something you will use no matter what? You know. So think outside the box, things like that, okay? Now, unit elastic is very simple. It's only used by people who are analysts who are going to predict the future type of thing. And it's basically a one-for-one ratio. If the price drops 20%, we're going to sell 20% more. If the price is jumps up 20%, we're going to sell 20% less. That's it. It's a very simple equation. It's a one-for-one thing. Is it accurate? No, not really. Because sometimes when the price drops, they think, oh, if we drop it 20%, we're going to make 20%. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It's not an exact science. It's basically, again, like a prediction tool, just to help out the people saying, okay, this is more or less where we're going to be at. Okay. All right, so now we come to the exit ticket. So here's the thing. Remember, pick one of these two questions. One, what's the major difference between elastic and inelastic demands? Okay, so if you need to go back. You can go back several minutes to watch that part. And the second question is one that I really like to read from you guys again, is do you think the amount of money we have in our bank account and our wallets determines how much and where we spend it? So think about thinking both ways. Like I gave you the example to a lot of students. I know somebody who has like $2 million. If you combine his checking and savings, he has like $2 million. But the dude shops at Walmart, and he normally doesn't wear clothes that are all fancy and this and that. He wears just regular shoes. I think Reeboks. He wears just regular pants, a shirt that has like a band name on it, you know, the uh, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, whatever, you wouldn't know, but the dude walking by you, is a millionaire, you know. Um, or like, yeah, you got some money. I'm gonna go to the store and buy a bunch of this and that. Why? Do you need it? Well, not really, but I have the money now. So again, do you think the amount of money we have determines how much and where we spend it? Okay, so what do you think? All right. So once you answer that, you are done for the class. Okay. So good job. And that's it for us. So I'll see you guys next week. You guys take care and you be safe. All right.